Hello to my harness fectin friends. Earlier today I did a video for my blouse fectin friends on a sword review, and today I'm going to do one also for you guys. So those who know me know I get a couple of reproduction weapons because sometimes our trainers, the things we use in tournament, don't necessarily give us a full view of what those tools of war would actually feel like, how they would work. And while I don't spar with those weapons, they are interesting for study in perspective. And today I have the Windlass, the Royal Armouries, Easton 14th century longsword. This sword was clearly meant for harness fighting and tournament combat fighting. Comes in a wonderful leather scabbard with a wonderful brass chape at the bottom. And I have no regrets about getting this because it really does give you a sense of what a tournament harness sword would be like for the 14th century. Um, a lot of things, and we'll get into them. As I said, once again, this is the Windlass Royal Armouries Easton line, so it is a full reproduction where they went to great lengths for the size and weight to all be accurate to the actual historical sword that's sitting in the Royal Armouries. Um, there are definitely differences in this if I compare it to my VB Harness Fectin sword, which I have done a review and initial impressions of before. But there's a lot to talk about, and I hope to get as much of it condensed down in a short video as possible. The scabbard is a wood core scabbard, and it's very nice, but really what we want to know is the sword. In comparison to the harness sword, this is going to be a lot lighter, and so it should be. The VB sword is way thicker, it's longer hilt, longer blade. This was clearly just meant as the actual reproduction. And in that, we can see a lot of things, but the main thing to really be in awe of is the blade. And there are a couple of reasons why. I'm just going to put that scabbard down. And it is a diamond cross section. So it is a very, very thick blade, especially when you get to that point. This was not meant for cutting water bottles or anything else. And I know it doesn't come sharp, and that's fine because it does come with a point. And as far as harness fectin is concerned, that's the point. It's very, very narrow, but very thick. In terms of that point, I'm trying to get the camera to focus in, but it's not doing a great job of doing it justice. But it's just this really, really thick point. And if you're thinking about half sorting, that's exactly what I want to be able to do, is get into gaps. And this narrow but very thick blade with that diamond cross section really shows you, yes, I could get into armor gaps with this. I could open up chainmail with this, and I really, really like that. There's a lot of weight here, so it does feel like you can really push into gaps and really get that point in there. Not to say I couldn't wield it, but it is a very short handle, much shorter than the harness fectin sword, so I really would have to grasp the pommel if I'm using gauntlets, and it doesn't give me a lot of room between the hands to actually fight. But I can strike and I can guard everything with it. I can go in and do things, but it was clearly meant for half sorting. Once you do start to take a look at the rest of the parts of the sword, and you see where these things come in. So the crossguard in particular has little turn-ups, and you can see how these turn-ups really can be used to hook into little places in someone's armor so that you have control, or you can actually stab into and actually injure the hand. But anywhere you put this, it has the potential to hook. And I think that that's definitely not a design accident. I feel like that really does work, and it makes sense that if you're half sorting, if you can get that in somewhere that it would grab, and then you can help pull or yank someone around, that would be used. That would be one of its main uses. As I said, handle's very short, but I want you to really take a look at another star. If the point of this sword is the star of the show, the supporting actor, I mean, this is also another wonderful supporting actor, but the real supporting actor is this pommel. This pommel is what gives it its weight, and while this is not as heavy as the VB harness Vectin sword, it is definitely heavier than any other longsword I own, and I think this is a major contributor. And I want you to really take a look at that wheel pommel. You'll see how those ends protrude out. There's no stuffing coins in this. This is not a decorative thing. This comes out here, and once again, that's going to help you to grab at points in armor. You know, to have a good, it does actually press against. You can actually grab things with that wider end. And this is a lot wider than a lot of other longsword wheel pommels that you will see, those protrusions out. This also has a fantastic weight to it, which obviously makes the sword a lot heavier. But once you go start thinking about, okay, we're going to get into some Mordschlag, you know, that's really, that strike is going to definitely wake someone up. It's definitely has the potential to damage armor. So just even a pommel strike with this, that's a hammer end. And it does have a significant amount of weight, which once again, I really do like. I think that if they were doing tests about whether or not, you know, Mordschlag is effective on stuff, it'd be like, hit someone with this, because that would definitely, I think that people who think, well, you're not gonna, you know, you're not gonna damage anyone with a longsword or their armor. It's like, give them a pommel like that, give them a strike, see how they're feeling, because this definitely was meant for tournament use. And as I said, as someone who really enjoys harness Vectin, this sword is a delight from an educational standpoint. Obviously, this is not something I'm ever going to really spar with, but if I'm doing demos, if I am trying to explain to people why things work, this is a really cool tool to have to explain to people why you might use a sword while you're in armor, because you can't really cut through the armor. But a good sword like this was designed with the intention of being used in medieval tournament, and has all the added bonuses of what you would use this sword for. You start looking at stuff in Gladiatoria and going, okay, well, that now makes sense. If I have a tool, especially with the hilt assembly, that's meant to catch stuff, we see that where someone's catching the back of the wrist and they can't necessarily get out of that very quickly. If that's binding in, and these ends will help to capture those positions. If someone is catching the forearm or something of a set of armor, you can see how this is actually going to help catch little parts, little straps, rivets. I really do like that, and you don't see it. You don't see a wheel pommel that wide and that heavy in a lot of other swords that are out there. So the Windlass 14th century, the Royal Armouries version really does explain a lot of that, and it does put it into perspective. Now, I was at the Deed of Arms, Deed of the Swan, and we had an exercise class on going through chainmail. They put some chainmail on a ballistic dummy and stuff, and gosh, I wish I had this with me. Maybe the next time I go, I will have this with me, and they'll do that class. I would love to attempt to run chainmail through with this point. You know, just get a chance to get the weight of that pommel, get everything, just go ahead and stab it in, because that would be a lot of fun. I think every other night there'd be like, hey, Ramirez, can I borrow that and try? Because I feel like that would be really fun with a blade like this. So I will leave a link to where you can go to get this if this is something that interests you. If you're looking to cut water bottles and do things like that, it comes unsharpened. You'd have to sharpen it. And I've been told, because of the width, other reviews have said it's not really good for that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't care, because that's not why I got this. I got this as something to use as a tool to train and understand harness Vectin, and I believe that this one really delivers. So, Matt, good job on this one. Really like it. If you get a chance to see this, and if you're interested in harness effect and you're interested in not only just participating, but understanding why these weapons work, this is a great tool in your understanding of that and of how it would be used in harness. So once again, I'm Ramirez for Tidewater Renaissance Fighting Arts. We do have a harness fecting program. We typically meet up once a month to do harness, and we do blouse fecting the rest of the time. But if you're interested, we're based out of Norfolk, Virginia, and I will leave a link to our club below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video.